Welcome everybody to the 3 weeks out of the Oscars in and of themselves, and I know you were all in for a treat because Manning put down the controller and the tears playing Kingdom Hearts 3 in order to talk to you guys today about the atrocities the Academy are doing today. So we thank you all for joining. This is Gone with the Wind. Cue the music. Hey guys, just to give you a quick PSA, editing is important because I cut a lot out right from there that you will never hear, just to show you how important that is, just letting John Bailey and all the people at the Academy know how important editing, as well as cinematography, because while we don't see our faces, I'm sure they could be lit a lot better if we had actual professional light and cinematography here, but we do not, because we are a budget show with no budget at all. Abe, do we pay you?
I've been getting paid since the first day I joined Take 3. I'm the only member that has ever been paid.
Exactly. And Malcolm.
Yeah, they don't pay me either, but I don't do a lot to be paid for. So.
Oh, well, that sounds really sad. But you know who we do pay to be a guest on the show? Caleb.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome. Hey, this is Caleb. I know is a big fan of the show. And he and I was like, you know what? I've been on a ranking with him before, and I thought, why not let his introduction first time before we end out the year? Because we only have 3 more episodes left. Bring him on here for one more before we end out this first season, I guess. But yeah, I don't get paid either. Sorry, Caleb, you're not getting paid. We are not getting paid because I don't have a budget. I'm paying for food here and all that good stuff to keep the lights on. But yeah, yes, as I was saying, this is the Kingdom Hearts 3 podcast where we talk all about Kingdom Hearts 3. Well, first off, Malcolm, can you believe that character died?
I haven't played it, so I don't know who you're talking about. So.
Oh, man, okay, Abe, can you believe that person turned out to be that other person?
Are you talking about the killer in Psycho?
No, I'm talking... Fine. Caleb, can you believe they replaced the game mechanics with that other game mechanic?
You know, the other game mechanics are great. Hearts and kingdoms are things.
I have the wrong panel for this, guys. We are going to cut the show short. No, this is Gone with the Wind, the award show about... Sorry, the show about award shows. One day I'm going to get it perfectly. But this is the show about award shows. We talk all things Oscars, BAFTAs, which is this specific one. So you might have heard a little different theme music because, of course, when we talk about BAFTAs, we get a little British around here. But I will not be doing my Cockney accent because everyone apparently hates it. So definitely not doing that. But yes, this past week we had our BAFTAs, which are a huge indicator for the Oscars coming up because there is a lot of crossover. Granted, they're a lot more British, but there is some huge crossover in the way of voters for the Academy, the Oscars, and the BAFTAs that we have. Probably 2 of the oldest that we have so far going. And then also we have some, before we get into that, we're going to talk specifically about something I mentioned prior. I made a little dig at President John Bailey of the Academy for something that was recently released this past week in what I would call, how would you say, an atrocity, if you will. Simply an atrocity. I believe the Hollywood Reporter was the one that dropped this, and we've been known for a while that the Academy would not be having certain categories shown via live on TV. They would cut them down in between commercials. They'd play during commercials, and they'd be cut down to show at a later point in the ceremony. We finally have those 4 announced. The 4 are makeup and hairstyling, live action short, cinematography, and film editing. These seem like a very random bunch, and you can bet there was some backlash. Before we get into the backlash, because of course there's always some backlash this year with the Academy, Abe, in particular, what are your thoughts on these 4 that we have been chosen seemingly at random for the Academy to cut?
Do I have to mention what I mentioned before we started?
Do it if you must.
Okay, I'm going to credit this guy, which I'm seeing on Twitter, named Eric Anderson from Awards Watch, I think. He just put a tweet that in the, excluding the top 8 categories, actor, actors, you know which ones I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Other than documentary short, Disney, which is the owner of ABC, which is the one that broadcasts the Oscars, have 0 nominees in any of those categories. editing, cinematography, makeup, and live action short. Am I a conspiracy theorist? No. But I believe why they caught it? Yes. I think it's a disgrace to cut any kind of category, because even though there's films that sure makeup is not that important to tell the story, even the makeup department makes it literally works with the cinematography department, so that people don't write and scream. It's just a craft. Cinema is it's experience. Makeup, everything is important, even though you don't even sound. Well, right now it's important. Before it wasn't. But like every single one is important. So I think even actor, like you can cut an actor. I honestly be fine if you tell me, oh, let's cut best actor. It's fine. Rami Malek is gonna win. I don't want him to win, so cut it.
Wow. To go off of that, Roma's director, Alfonso Cuarón, said in a tweet, in the history of cinema, capitalized cinema, masterpieces have existed without sound, without color, without a story, without actors, and without music. No single film has ever existed without cinematography and without editing. So he's laying it on to them pretty thick right there. There is some... And he's nominated for director, and he's nominated for cinematography this year as well, too. So he is not having it at this point in time. Malcolm, what are your thoughts, and what are some of the backlash that you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, this is... For me, this baffles me that like cinematography and editing are taken out. Like, if I was to choose like to put in the ads, like the 3 shorts would have been the 3 that I would have for sure guessed would have been there. And I mean, there's a few others that maybe I'm put in there. Like makeup and hairstyling, I'm not too worried that if it's not there or not, because that's only 3 nominees anyway. So, but I mean, I've seen a few comments on Twitter as well, because like Dan Merle actually put a tweet out going, they promised a 3-hour show, take out 1 hour for commercials, that's 24 awards in 120 minutes, 5 minutes per award, that's more than enough time to do it. And then another one that I saw was Rob Burnett going like, as a film editor, he knows how it is how important editing is and cinematography. But he also points out that best song is still awarded on camera, and like the best songs, like, well, yes, it's all good to do like a song for a movie, but it's score is definitely important, but the songs like you contact like Kendrick Lamar going, can you do a song for me for Black Panthers? Like he'll go, sure. He'll go away and what the song, they aren't telling him what kind of song they want to do for the movie. He'll come up with everything, and then they just insert it into the movie. That's really not an important part of film, if you see where I'm going with that.
Unless it's a musical, like I believe Shallow and Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah, no, like musicals, like I can see the points. Like when it comes to songs, like the Black Panther one, even though it wasn't nominated Sunflower for Spider-Man, like those ones, not so much.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that because they're big ratings boosters. People know these songs that are nominated. And Abe, I'm not going to say, yes, the theory of that person you quoted 100% correct, but there's credence to it, because in a letter to the Academy, the director of the American Society of Cinematographers, President Keith Van Ostrom, protests in a letter as follows. Yesterday afternoon, the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences announced that the Best Cinematography presentation, as well as the awards of film editing, live action short, and makeup and hairstyling, would not be broadcast live but presented in a delayed and edited version during the televised Oscar ceremony. This decision was reportedly made in order to shorten the length of the Academy Awards broadcast. After receiving many comments on this matter from ASC members, I think I speak for many of them in declaring this a most unfortunate decision. We consider filmmaking to be a collaborative effort where the responsibilities of the director, cinematographer, editor, and other crafts often intersect. This decision could be perceived as a separation and division of this creative process, thus minimizing our fundamental creative contributions. The Academy is an important institution that represents artistry in the eyes of the world. Since the organization's inception 91 years ago, The Academy Awards have honored cinematographers' talent, craft, and contributions to the filmmaking process, but we cannot quietly condone this decision without protest. Kaleb, what are your thoughts on the fact that we are now experiencing 4 less awards live?
It really sucks. Cinematography and editing, I think, are the fundamentally important to the making of a film. Like, there's no film without those 2 categories.
Mhm.
And I agree with Malcolm in the sense of hair and makeup. I get why that one's not being shown. Nothing against that art and craft. It's just 3 nominees, and most years it's very clear cut who's going to win. I would say I agree with the original song also being one that might not be as important to show. It's a supplementary category, whereas cinematography and editing are very integral to the making of a film. So if I were going to pick any 4 to replace, in order to keep editing and cinematography around, I would say we could take original song out. I know that's important for ratings or whatever, but that's the one that's like, if we have to take something.
And I mean, they'll probably still perform that. It doesn't mean they have to stop performing the songs at the ceremony. Just the people still know the songs. So.
I would still I feel like, well, if you're gonna perform them, well, I would say cut the performance if you're gonna cut the songs first. Honestly,
Exactly.
if we live in a perfect world, I wouldn't cut anyone. I would cut some of the quote unquote sketches that they might have in between, because if we're running long, it's because of them. Because this is the time to celebrate the artist, not a time to be I guess entertainment's a part of it, but I want this time to celebrate the artist. And taking this away is kind of unfortunate. But if we're coming down to it, because I know I know probably ABC's telling the Academy, you got to cut something. The question is, where is President John Bailey and the board cutting things? Because he's also a member of the cinematographers branch. He's a member of the ASC. He's a member of them. So this is something that I'm sure hurts him in a way, because he's like, this is something I did, but he's doing this probably at the whim of someone else, because I don't think this is all him. But there needs to be some sort of message said.
Respect the time for the speeches. That everybody should do that. Your speech shouldn't take longer than 2 minutes.
At
Just
most.
thank people. Don't try to make a statement. I agree. You have the platform there where many people are watching you, where you're celebrating film, and it's not like, don't follow your agenda. Whatever you're right, left, whatever you are, just do 2-minute speech.
Yeah,
Thank your mom, your brother, and your director. That's good enough.
Only them, no one else.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know, but I was saying, Go ahead, Malcolm.
I mean, you got to thank God as well. So
You have to.
Everyone.
And well, apparently, was it Meryl Streep? I think she's thanked more times than God in speeches. So you have to thank Meryl Streep, apparently. And also, I think Harvey Weinstein was also one of those people. So
what's the difference between Meryl Streep and God? I'm not sure. Someone clarify that for me.
One has an Academy Award, one doesn't.
One has three Academy Awards.
Does Morgan Freeman have an Academy Award?
He does.
Then God has one.
Okay, well, just one. She has 3. She has Meryl Streep has 2 more. But yeah, no. Ideally, we'd live in a world where we wouldn't have to cut anything, and the show could go on just as it has been, with maybe better writing sometimes. But here we are, and where we are at right now. But yeah, to quote, most people say, to quote Van Oostrom, we cannot quietly condone this decision without protest, and there has been a lot of backlash, especially when they finally announced it. So.
Yeah.
Over under 50% chance. Are they going to backtrack again?
They're gonna backtrack.
Yeah, they'll backtrack.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, because otherwise you could have a lot of people boycotting the Oscars because of this too. Because I know there's a lot of people that boycott the Grammys year after year. So there might be a few people that start doing the Oscars if they keep doing this every year.
Has any actor commented on it?
An actor?
Yeah. I don't think so, right?
Well, Marlon Brando declined an Oscar one year.
Oh no, I mean on the whole situation.
I mean, Lubeski, Del Toro, they're not actors. I'll someone look into that quickly. Or not. But in the meantime, while someone hopefully is looking into that, we're going to move on to the next section, and that is, well, not BAFTA, excuse me. It is the, speaking of the American Society of Cinematographers, the ASC finally gave their award this year to cinematography. And the 5 that were nominated were, I had it up, one sec, were First Man, The Favorite, A Star is Born, Cold War, and Roma. No particular order. Most of us thought this is probably going to go to Roma, right?
Yeah, probably.
You know, most likely that was The Favorite. Yet Color is shocked. Cold War, the other black and white foreign film that we have nominated this category, took it. So do we need to watch out for this come Oscar night?
It's possible.
I think it would be a massive upset if Alfonso Cuarón does not walk off the stage with a cinematography statue.
Yeah.
It would be, I think it'd be a shock, but I don't know how many people would be particularly upset. I think most people would just walk away confused and excited, I guess, for the Cold War fans out there.
That is true, because he's already winning what? Probably like 2 on the night?
Probably director for sure.
Most likely 3.
And foreign language. Yeah, foreign language. He's walking away with at least 2.
At least 2 for that night. But no, I just find that fascinating because this is the first win for in like even critics groups that Cold War has picked up in terms of cinematography, right?
I think so. I could check.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely puts it's definitely going to be a race between Cold War and Roma now. I think it's definitely going to be one to watch out for in that race.
Sorry, Mark, go ahead.
In response to Abe's question on if any actors have spoken out on it, Russell Crowe has actually spoken out on the removal of that. He says, the Academy is removing cinematography, editing, and makeup from the televised show. This is just such a fundamentally stupid decision. I'm not even going to be bothered trying to be a smart ass about it. It's just too effing dumb for words.
Sounds about what something Russell Crowe would say.
Yeah.
This is the first major award that Cold War has won this season.
I was about to say.
I don't see it. Honestly, I don't see it winning it just because they're going to give it to Cuarón, just because it's Cuarón. Or maybe not. It's okay, so correct me if it's not the same people that vote for the category of foreign language film or director, right? Directors vote for directors.
I think that's the nomination process, and it's open to everyone for the winners.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think everyone votes.
Oh yeah, you're correct.
The nominations,
you're correct. So it depends how many cinematographers are in the category. I think if you're an actor, you select Cuarón because he's been winning anything. If you're a director, you select Cuarón.
I'd be like, that looks pretty.
Yeah. Actually, that's the logic a lot of
Google a still frame.
Take. Yeah,
just Google a still from the movie and just. Can I put this as an icon background? Yep. Okay. Win. There you go.
Yeah.
Vote.
I mean, I'm sure Cuarón would vote for himself as well.
Can you vote for yourself?
Yes.
Probably not.
If you can vote yourself as president or yourself as president,
I mean,
you're right.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a rule for the voting process that is, if you're nominated for anything, you can't vote in that category, but you can vote for anything you're not in.
Maybe.
I don't know much about that process to say that's true or not, but that could be what happens.
Aha! But for correction, Cold War, the first major thing that Cold War actually won was Best Film at the 31st European Film Awards. So, that's
it's the same director from
whatsoever.
It's the same cinematographer from this was a Polish film called Ida, right?
Polish, yeah.
Ida or is it Ida?
Ida, most likely Ida.
Okay.
So, it won 1 Oscar.
Did that win the Oscar?
No, it was for Best Foreign Language Film.
Oh, okay. But what won cinematography that year? That was 2015.
It was Lubezki. He won for Birdman or the Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
Yeah, that was 16, wasn't it?
14.
14. Wow. What was 16 was? Well, that was 2 years ago. That was
Lubezki won 3. Yeah, Lubezki won 3 Oscars in a row.
Man, that was 2 years ago, guys. No, 3 years ago.
He won for Birdman, Revenant,
and
Gravity.
and Gravity.
And then it was Linus Sandgren breaking that trend with my favorite movie, La La Land.
And then it was
Dan Lost in Shape of Water.
it was everybody's Roger Deakins.
Oh,
Oh,
Blade
right.
Runner 2049.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
One of the most gorgeous looking movies of all time.
One of the greatest of the century. But let's continue with the show because we're getting out of rails. Manny, what's next?
Okay, there you go. Well, are you sure we could keep talking about stuff? You know, the American Center
We can talk about favorite short films.
We can. No, we're good.
Or,
we're gonna move
favorite edited films.
Moving on.
I really like the editing of Man on the Moon.
Moving on. Oh, that's actually a nice pull. Good pull actually as well. But anyway, now we're going to get on to the main discussion of this episode, and that is the 72nd British Academy Film Awards, also known as the BAFTAs, which I personally really love the BAFTAs because I never watch them, but somehow I love them because I just love going to Wikipedia, and I love reading these lines here because I'm weird like that. But yeah, the favorite was had led with nominations for 12 nominations, followed by Stars Born, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, and Roma with 7 each. Ultimately, the night, the favorite won 7, Roma won 4, and Bohemian Rhapsody won 2. It's 2 more than it should have won, but that's okay.
Ouch.
Hey, you know what? Well, I guess. Okay,
I mean, one of them I agree with.
Am I the only? I feel like I'm the only person besides Cody Newberry in this community that's like championing Bohemian Rhapsody on.
Listen, the two that it won, yeah, Malcolm does like it. The 2 that it won, okay, I can see that. Cool. I'm not really have qualms with them. It's just the overall. I'm like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. You heard my. Did you hear my rant last week, Caleb? About
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. That's still my biggest. I don't know. That's what cemented me as like I just don't want to hear. If I hear Bohemian Rhapsody one more time after that. That's my big peeve. That's my big peeve. Anyway, we're gonna start off now. Short films. Do we care about short films?
Not really.
Winner of best
73 cows.
73 Cows won best short film, and best British short animation was Rough House. Best animated film. Oh, that's we do care about that. Best animated film went to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, beating out Incredibles 2 and Isle of Dogs. So sign up.
Going.
Yep, sign it up. It's walking away with it, and I'm going to be shocked otherwise.
As it should. If Incredibles 2 or Isle of Dogs get called out on Oscar night, I will be shocked.
Yep. I mean, they could pull a... Actually...
Brave. Ralph breaks the internet.
Well, Brave won BAFTA. So...
Really?
Yeah, Brave won BAFTA. That's why. That's when people were like, oh. And it won. Wait, it won Golden Globe too. So
yeah, Brave was the favorite to win that year, and I'm one of the people who doesn't understand Brave love. I thought it was Wreck-It Ralph's to win. But yeah, no, I don't know if there's any like precedence for an upset of that magnitude ever.
Yeah, it will be probably one of the biggest of all time.
I mean, I think if anything will upset Spider-Man, will be Incredibles 2. So
probably.
The closest thing I can have is what I mentioned last week, I believe. It's when Big Hero 6 won without winning anything else. But that year was so weird because there was no front runner. Well, actually, I think it was
How to Train Your Dragon 2.
But Lego Movie 2 was winning where it wasn't nominated. And
where it was nominated. The Lego Movie, not the Lego Movie 2 that you can watch in theaters right now.
Well, not yet. Not for us. Wait, is it out?
Yeah, it's out here. I saw it.
Last week.
It's not amazing, but it's fine.
Oh, I thought it coming out this week. Holy cow, I'm totally off the loop. All right, best film.
It's not out in New Zealand yet.
Well. Best film not in English language. Roma.
Shocker.
Signed, sealed, delivered, or is Cold War coming up hot? Or cold?
I think Roma's got it.
I agree with
that. I think it has the benefit of being backed by Netflix, whereas people have they've heard of Roma, whereas no one's really heard of any of the others. So
yeah, I mean, it's the other one is I do think that if there was an upset that happens, I think if Cold War beats Roma in foreign language, then I think it might be a sign that Roma's winning Best Picture. I mean, it can win both, but there's a good chance it may end up splitting the votes as well. So
maybe.
The question is, would they do that? Do they think like that?
I don't know. Hey, that's actually a really good idea or a good point.
All right, so best editing. Vice, only win of the night.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh. That hurts. That hurts.
I like the editing of Vice. I think it's like the most nuanced. Well,
I
I don't know.
It's-
I
It's
don't
just
know.
like the Big Short.
It's the
The
most
Big Short one
comedically
editing,
edited.
right?
Yeah, I think so. Vice is very
Oh, no, it
comedically
didn't.
edited. It's just I didn't respond to it. I personally, I guess, I don't know.
Okay, it's the most editing.
It
It's
is
definitely
the most editing. Yeah.
the most editing of these nominees that we have. The other nominees we had were Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, first. What I find interesting too is I don't think did for BAFTA did okay. I'm trying to think. For Vice has won nothing else in terms of editing this year, so this is like the first time it's won anything. It lost the Ace Eddie to The Favorite, so this was kind of shocking if it was anything else.
Didn't it lose to Bohemian Rhapsody?
No, Vice was in the comedic section for the Ace Eddies. They always split it up.
Okay.
And the favorite one.
I would have loved it because I think Bohemian Rhapsody is one of the best edited movies I've seen this year.
Can I kick him off the podcast, guys?
I will defend myself saying the sequences, even when they're on tour, and then you layer the music under it. It's like almost choreographed in the sense of like the drum hits here, and they cut to the drum when they're touring. They have the neon lights and everything. I like the editing in Bohemian Rhapsody quite a bit.
See, but they also do that in A Star Is Born to a much better effect and how they transition time with song.
So let's continue with the next award. Costume design, makeup.
Why are you moving me along? We're talking. Okay, fine.
No, because you're gonna get into an argument.
I am. Okay, all right.
Because
All
you
right.
hate that movie. I need you to.
I don't hate the movie. I just
You do.
hate the fact
You
that
hate the buzz around it.
I don't. We're moving on. Best makeup and hair.
We could talk for an hour about the makeup and hairstyling, but let's comment on Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay, so then big thing. What is winning editing? Because literally, there's nothing that's like correlated anywhere so far. Is it Bohemian Rhapsody?
I think Vice.
I think if Bohemian Rhapsody wins, I will be 1, very happy, 2, shocked. I think Green Book has a good chance to win editing.
No!
I think Green Book doesn't have a lot of love across the board as much as some of the other films like Roma. So I think if any category were to give its award to Green Book to give it something, it would either be screenplay or editing. In terms of the non-big 4 or 5.
The Green Book and editing is so like it's the opposite of Vice. There is not a lot. It's very unnoticeable. It's not bad editing. It's just like, oh, okay. It's one of those editings that awards that year where you're just kind of like, I guess it's nominated because there is a lot of love. The fact that it made it though over like First Man and Roma, it's like, come on. Anyway, best makeup and hair. The Favorite is our winner. Although I'm kind of shocked. Should I be shocked that Vice lost this one?
I don't know.
Sure.
Because it won editing.
My thing with Vice in the makeup and hairstyling is they do. I don't know if it's a testament to how good the job is on their end or how dedicated Christian Bale is in his performance that I can't tell what is makeup and hairstyling and what is him putting on weight for the role.
Mm-hmm. Because honestly, I could notice it like on Gary Oldman last year. I cannot tell you where the line for the makeup of Christian Bale is.
Exactly. Which is why I think the Favorite's going to sneak up and take it. Or not the Favorite.
Is Favorite in makeup and hairstyling in the Oscars?
It's not.
I meant Mary Queen of Scots.
No, I just find it interesting that that it won this one in comparison to Vice, which is definitely more like the one people have been talking about. The buzz has been around that one in comparison to The Favorite.
Yeah.
But they love The Favorite.
I think if Vice wins like early on the night, I guess the makeup and hairstyling wins makeup. I think Christian Bale has a chance to offset Rami Malek, which is the front runner. Right?
I'm not. I don't think Christian Bale's gonna win actor.
That boat.
yeah.
has-
Well, I mean, yeah, it's one of those ones like it's definitely between Bale and Rami. That's for sure. I mean,
I think just my general thoughts on the acting actress race is they're gonna give one to Glenn Close for a career award, and they'll give one to an up and comer. So the pairing will either be Gaga and Bale, which I don't see happening, or Glenn and Rami. And I think that one is more likely to happen.
Or give it to Bradley Cooper.
I think Bradley's
Deserving.
gone, but I love it. I'd love it if Bradley won. But I
Oh,
don't.
it'd be amazing considering he's won. Poor guy's won nothing this year.
Yeah.
Nominated everywhere. He's won nothing. All right. Best costume design. Since we apparently skipped to actor and actress very quickly. Best costume design. The favorite. Get ready to hear a lot of that. Beating out.
I don't think it's deserved because Black Panther wasn't nominated, and I think Black Panther should win that award.
Black Panther's gonna win it.
Yeah, I think that's well deserved. That nomination is well deserved for Black Panther. Not in the BAFTA, but in the Oscars. I'm talking about.
well, I mean, there's that, but the Oscars do really love their period pieces as well.
I was about to say.
I mean, they
yeah.
give it to Mad Max. Just think about it.
Costume?
Yeah, they gave costume design to Mad Max.
So just think about that.
Really?
I love
Yes.
those dirty yellow shirts. They're the
Yes.
best.
I
So
mean,
just-
when it comes to when it comes to costume design, I wouldn't be upset if any of the nominees win, because I think they all deserve to win. So I wouldn't really be too upset if one of them misses out. So
I would be shocked if Ballad of Buster Scruggs won, and I'd be so happy.
I don't see that happening. That one's one of them.
That'd be so cool, but it won't happen.
All right. And speaking of Black Panther, best special visual effects go to Black Panther.
That's the weirdest and most undeserving award of the night.
I can agree.
Yeah.
Those visual effects in the third act
Was
terrible.
Especially when the Visual Effects Society and the Oscars did not go for it in any nomination whatsoever. So it's fascinating. I think they gave it to it because it was Black Panther.
My biggest thing about Black Panther with visual effects is I think a lot of people are also confusing, like, the visual effects might be so good in places where it's like when they're fighting on the cliff for the ritual combat, it looks real. It looks like they're not on a green screen set or like with the purple skies and everything.
No, yeah.
I think those visual effects are magnificent, but the third act fight is so poorly done that it kills all visual effects. In
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it lost to Infinity War of all ones, because I found out the other day that someone went through Avengers and came up and said that then 97% of the movie has some form of visual effects in it, and there's only 3% of Infinity War which is no visual effects in it whatsoever. So I mean,
Yeah.
Wait.
I have a prediction right now. Aladdin is winning best visual effects next year. Let's move on, Will Smith.
That is your worst hot take of the year so far. And we just made it in 2019.
Thank you.
Best production design goes to the favorite. Now, this is where I think the favorite can win. I'm sorry, no. This is where I think Black Panther can come in and win for production design.
Do you see
I think Black
production?
Panther's got that one unlocked too.
I think like if you win production design, well, the Great Gatsby won production design, and that's the only
Costume design. You
Oh,
won
and
costume, didn't it?
Yeah, costume and production design. I predicted
They
those
usually
two.
go hand in hand.
Yeah, they so.
It's either usually what I would notice. It's either visual effects and production design, depending on like if it's a big, like if it's like Life of Pi or Gravity. Life of
Gravity
Pi.
won production design, I believe.
Gravity won production design. I'm trying to think. Let me look at that correlation again.
Life of Pi did win visual effects and production design, I believe.
That's why I want to double check because I remember I was always like, wait, what? How did that win?
I don't know how Life of Pi won those.
I'm gonna clarify right now because no, Life of Pi did not win.
Oh, okay.
It was 2012.
Lincoln won.
Oh,
But
that
it
makes
lost
more sense.
costumes.
Makes more sense.
Shape of Water for production design. Shape of Water won last year. La La Land won last year. Mad Max Fury Road won last year. Hey, costume design and correlation and visual. Wait, no, Ex Machina won that year.
That one broke my ballot. I just want to say that.
I think it
You
broke.
know,
it.
Ex Machina, I think your movie's fine. I hate you because you broke my ballot.
Ouch. And then Great Gatsby, Hugo, Lincoln House Wonderland, Avatar. Benjamin Button. Yeah, so I guess there always is some the thing that's nominated for costume is usually nominated at least in production. So there's always that correlation.
I think the sets for Black Panther are undeniably magnificent. Like the design of Wakanda, the design of everything. I think it's gonna walk away with that and costumes. I think those are just locks, in my opinion.
Locks. Okay. Well,
I would say locks.
I can't jump on that yet, but I still have yet to call anything, because you know what? Below the line, anything can twist on a dime for some reason. I don't know why, but it's usually.
I think the only lock we can all agree in is like best director, right?
No, I would even actually.
I would say supporting actor is a lock.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one too.
I'd say best original song is a lock too for Shallow.
Yes,
so we have three that are kind of locks, but like, I think those actor rates are so up.
Yeah. But speaking of best original music, guys, A Star Is Born.
Oh, you.
For best original music.
My thing about the original music category, though, is it like score and songs put together?
I think it encompasses like the whole track, if you can call it.
I didn't think of that.
I don't love that. But I get it. I get it, BAFTAs, but at the same time, I don't love it.
Yeah, because it's not score. It's the it's film music. So I guess that makes
original
sense.
music.
But I think it takes into account score because both Children of Dogs and then the composers are credited as well. So
and Black Klansman, I mean. I think Terrence Blanchard.
That too. So I mean,
so it's music overall.
I think it's basically the British combining the score and song category,
which I think is a mistake,
together.
No, yeah, I do agree with that at least. Because I'm trying to think. Last year, I mean, has there been like a musical besides La La Land this past year that can win that? Because original score, because Star Is Born is not nominated for original score. That's not the thing people.
Well, there's no score to the movie. It's all soundtrack.
Yeah, because there's music.
Yeah,
it's like a little bit of sound, but it's all like incorporated. Sorry, not sound. Excuse me. Score, because it's incorporated from the song. So technically,
are you talking about the Oscars or the
Oscars?
Mean, they don't have. There's no credited composer on A Star Is Born. Is all.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah, because I'm looking right now. Yeah. The last thing, Slumdog Millionaire, which had musical numbers in it.
It had the Jai-Ho and
from 2000. Yeah, that's the last thing that I.
Moulin Rouge, 2001 won the BAFTA. Maybe that you can compare it to A Star Is Born.
True, but did it win? Did it win? No, it wasn't nominated for the Oscar, was it?
Let me check.
I have to quantify this.
Why you send me to the fucking? Sorry, guys. It sent me to it sent me to the. What happened to that guy?
Baz Luhrmann? Oh, he did.
He did a TV series, right? On Amazon or something.
It's been all score before La La Land since and then until you get to Slumdog, but Slumdog has its composer credited, not its songwriters.
Also, Moulin Rouge is a great comparison because it was not nominated for original score that year. So that was an excellent comparison. Nice job pulling that out, Abe.
Thank you.
Nice
I know that.
You knew exactly what you were doing. Okay. Great. In my pursuit to find it, I lost my place of where I was.
I think you skip sound, right? Or I don't know
I did skip sound.
Yeah. So Bohemian Rhapsody. What are we talking about? People, can we move on?
Sound, yeah. No, that's. Well, hey, this is again the two that it won. I'm not against. So Bohemian Rhapsody is probably worthy for the sound.
I saw this short on this featurette, if we can call it, of A Star Is Born sound, and it's amazing what they did. It's amazing what they do in sound with movies. Honestly, it's crazy how many layers of layers of audio there are.
No, and the sound mixing is really good in Bohemian Rhapsody, so I'd not be opposed to it winning sound mixing. I'd be sad if it won sound editing over First Man, but
I mean, Quiet Place, I do think should win one of the sound ones at the Oscars too. Personally,
I think it has
I
a chance in
understand.
editing.
Well, A Quiet Place is only nominated for editing.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
the one.
well,
I
that's
think,
what I was
I think it'll win because like that's where they create the silence and how it all flows together.
yeah.
I think it's going to be either Stars Born or Bohemian that walks away with mixing.
no, yeah, they love giving it to those musicals.
Concert.
Yeah, concert stuff. That would be a perfect way to award them.
Did La La Land get one of the sound categories in that
I
year?
don't think
It
so.
did not.
It was Hacksaw Ridge and Deep
Arrival.
Water Arrival.
Arrival.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
happened. I remember that because that also broke my ball.
You remember it because it broke your ballot.
Yeah, I remember those categories because it's like everybody was saying like, "Oh, La La Land is gonna win both those awards," and damn,
Nope. You
that
picked
was
the
my
wrong
worst
thing.
year in 10 years.
You picked the wrong one. All right. Best documentary, Free Solo. I think we have our possible winner.
I still believe in Minding the Gap.
I think
Oh.
RVG because of the whole thing with
Cultural relevance at the moment.
Yeah, and that's
exactly
and
what it-
yeah, because it's RVG's set in America, so I don't see the British actually caring that much about it.
Sure.
But like, I think Free Solo. Actually, Free Solo, it's gonna play in my city on February 22nd.
Oh,
I think Free Solo is a more visually rich documentary in terms of like, oh, we're doing
I haven't watched
free
this
climbing and everything. But I think Minding the Gap's subject matter might hold more weight than Free
Yeah.
Solo. Plus, Minding the Gap is, I can't remember which one's on Hulu. I think Minding the Gap's on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
the one.
Yeah.
I think Won't You Be My Neighbor will come out of nowhere and win.
Right in victory.
I wish. Outstanding British film, The Favorite. Surprising no one.
Does
Of
not
course,
shock me.
no.
All right, moving on. Outstanding debut by British writer, producer, director, Beast. Awesome job, whoever Beast. Good job for you guys, because you listen to the podcast. Best cinematography. Roma wins, beating out Bohemian Rhapsody, Cold War, The Favorite, and First Man. So this is where it took that crown from Cold War. And a repeat?
I love that Bohemian Rhapsody got nominated. But I completely disagree with that being in the cinematography race at all.
I think if the Europeans didn't give it to Cold War, why would the Americans give it to Cold?
True.
Well, they're not Europeans anymore. They're British people. Remember, they're Brexit and all that stuff.
I don't think that's on, right?
Brexit hasn't officially happened. I think they're still fighting to get.
I know they're still fighting. They have like a couple weeks left.
Malcolm, isn't Queen Elizabeth still Queen of New Zealand actually, like in Australia and Canada, something like that? Isn't that
I mean, yeah, like we're still in the Commonwealth, so I don't know what the whole Brexit thing will mean for that, but it's not a politics podcast.
I was about to say, I'm still fascinated what's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm gonna research that after this show.
Encouraging you guys.
Brexit documentary is actually the write-in victory for the best documentary feature of the Oscars. Malcolm Lay for his little Brexit documentary he makes after this.
I need
How
to.
Brexit affects the kingdom, something like that. It's still a kingdom, right? On
The Commonwealth, or just call it Brexit, or exiting the Commonwealth, or
something. Like that. We're gonna work on it. Don't talk about it. Like,
all right, well,
let's keep it on the
We'll
wrap.
work on it later. We'll work on it later, guys. So this is a little tidbit.
Yeah.
All right, best adapted screenplay. Spike Lee wins a BAFTA, guys.
I'm telling
First
you.
BAFTA. He's winning it.
He's got to win adapted. He's gonna win.
Yeah, he's gonna win that. Like, if you give this word to Spike Lee,
I'm
someone that's been working like for 30 years.
I'm pretty confident that one's gonna be a lock. It's Black Klansman in the adapted screenplay.
Yeah, at this point, if something else had won, I'd be like, okay. But if they want to award Spike Lee somewhere, perfect place to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Since he's not winning a director at this point, guys. All right, best original screenplay. The Favorite. continuing its dominance so far. But again, not too surprised because really they weren't going to give it to Green Book.
No.
I think the hard thing about the best original screenplay race in any case is that the favorite wasn't nominated to WGA because of whatever, because it didn't fit.
Yeah.
So
weird
that's hard to predict, but I can see the favorite. Like it has 10 nominations. Probably it's not gonna win any big awards, and I think screenplay is the best chance for it to win. So makes sense the BAFTA gave it to it, but.
Yeah, no, this is a race I'm looking forward to, and I don't think this is going to be a lot going on tonight. This is going to be more like, this is going to be a fight between two different awards, so I'm excited to see. Two different nominees, excuse me. And now we're in the acting categories. Best actress in a supporting role. Rachel Weisz, the favorite. Awesome. It's a great award for a fantastic performance. So I am thrilled. I'm more than thrilled. Is she number 2 or is she not number 2 because she splits in the Oscars?
I don't know who to predict on that. I'm gonna predict Regina King because of what she's winning, but I don't know who to predict on that race. It's so hard because
I think
Rachel Weisz won and she was probably the 4th on everybody's list before the nominees. Fuck it, Marina Altavira is gonna win.
I mean, It's not out of possibility because that is all over the place right now.
Can you imagine her winning? That would be fucking great.
Because I mean, there's also a lot of people that think that both Rachel and Emma don't belong supporting anyway. I think there are a lot of people arguing that they're probably more the lead.
I think Emma is the lead.
Yes.
I think Olivia. The movie is called The Favorite. And who's the favorite?
It depends on the day.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Rachel Weisz is the favorite, but she won.
I think if they will be smart, they will have put Olivia on supporting. She will get the Oscar there. I think there's no question. I think I don't know if people agree with me about Regina King and everything.
Yeah.
And you put Emma on the lead, I think Olivia walks out with the Oscar. That was the mistake by the studio, whichever studio it is.
I think Regina King was winning supporting because I think both Rachel and Emma will probably end up splitting the vote. And
despite Regina King missing SAG and BAFTA, I still think she's gonna win, but it's gonna be close because she has the most buzz in comparison to her other nominees.
The thing with that is that you hadn't heard her name for an entire month after the nominations.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem she has right now. You hadn't had any headline with her on any picture or anything that reminds you of her.
That's true. And you can't hear Emily Blunt from A Quiet Place.
Yeah, so
yeah. And I mean the other thing is I'm pretty sure at this point First Man is not getting an Oscar.
Nope. Don't remind me. The best actress in a supporting role easily became the most interesting. Just from seeing how this is, because Amy Adams isn't winning anything now officially. She's gonna be another bridesmaid, sadly. But anyway, best actor in a supporting role. Mahershala Ali, Green Book. Now, is this our lock?
That's a lock. It's his story.
If they didn't give it to Richard Grant, I don't know what to do.
No.
I'm gonna shoot myself.
At this point, Mahershal's been winning everything, so yeah, I'm not surprised.
Is he the only person that has won? Him and Cuarón, right, are the ones that have swept the entire race almost.
So far, yeah.
Yeah.
So far you're totally right. Yeah, but this is going to be 2-time Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali, which I didn't know he existed 5 years ago. So
Crystal Balls did in 3 years. He won 2 Oscars in 3 years, 2009 and 2012.
Impressive. I mean, if he had, think about if he had if this movie came out, if Green Book came out last year, he could pull a Tom Hanks or Katharine Hepburn or whatever and win 2.
Who won last year for supporting?
Sam Rockwell.
No, I think he would have get it then.
Probably, yeah.
I rewatched Green Book and fall asleep for 20 minutes. I don't know if that helps.
I mean, all right.
I like the movies.
All right, best actress in a leading role. Olivia Colman the favorite. Are we shocked or not?
I mean,
Nah.
for the BAFTAs, I'm not surprised
Mhm.
because she is British, but yeah,
She is.
I mean, even though, well, yeah, I'm pretty confident that Glenn Close is probably winning because, like, despite people saying, "Oh, it's probably going to be a career Oscar in that," which I mean, I never really liked the term career Oscars personally because even though, well, yeah, they do exist, I'm not saying that they don't.
Mhm.
The fact that like people would suggest they would give it to it because of their career as opposed to their performance there is kind of disrespectful to the other ones who may have had a better performance. But but I do think Glenn Close is winning for the fact that I have heard a lot of people saying that even though The Wife is kind of a middle of the ground movie, that Glenn Close's performance is really good in it. So.
Mhm. No, okay. Speaking of Glenn Close, I finally saw The Wife this past week, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, it's a fine film, but also Jonathan Pryce and Glenn Close, the two of them together, fantastic. They are a fantastic pair, and I'm really sad Jonathan Pryce did not get more love than he did because I thought he was incredibly magnetic in that role, and Glenn Close steals it. So I am totally okay with her winning because she gave one of my favorite female performances of the year in general.
But
I
yeah, I mean, I think essentially it is kind of a 3-horse race now because I think the BAFTA win puts Olivia's kind of in there, and it's going to be between her, Gaga, and Close. But I do think Close was probably going to win.
I will be okay with anybody winning the Best Actress race. I think they're on par with each other. Like every single one brings anything different. Like Chalitza is way more quiet, more more.
Yeah, it's a great five lineup. It's a
Yeah.
great five.
Yeah, and
lineup.
Olivia is like
I,
a powerhouse, and whatever she does is like loud and big. And
I don't feel like
continue.
Olivia Colman's gonna win. I don't know if this nomination necessarily changes her status in the race because like she's been in it, but I think she's a solid third place. I think it's Gaga or Glenn, especially after the Critics' Choice tie. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if Olivia came out and won it, but I think it's between Glenn and Gaga.
Yeah, and I mean the other one is, the with the fact that the Oscars was the only place that Yalitza, I believe, has had some love. She could be the upset in this category for the Oscars as well. So I mean, eventually I will probably see Roma. I'm sorry how I haven't seen it yet, Abe. It's just been sitting on my watch list, not watched. But from what the way I've heard it, her acting being praised, is like I wouldn't be surprised if she comes out of nowhere to win.
That what Jalitza has in her favor is that she's the first one on the ballot.
It's true.
That is true. And they might. Although I think surprisingly enough, Marina de Tavera has a better shot at winning Best Supporting Actress than Yalitza has at winning Lead Actress. Just because that category is still all up in the air, and she might come up the middle. That's just I think it's a better shot. I don't think either of them are winning, but that's the tea leaves that I'm looking at right now. Also, Best Actor in a Leading Role: Rami Malek, Bohemian Rhapsody, from the little film that could, i.e., came out of nowhere, broke through the questionable reviews, and became the worldwide sensation, grossing over $800 million worldwide.
I love this movie.
I honestly
I
like
the same love. Tell us, Caleb, what's the secret?
The secret is know nothing about Queen. Go in, get a basic sense of what their story is. Fall in love with the performance and the music, and you're set.
Okay, I failed
like,
at that first part.
I'm in these like I guess like Latin American Facebook group of cinephile stuff like that. Everybody loves fucking Bohemian Rhapsody there. Like
Really?
Yeah, like everybody, I don't want to get in fights in Facebook groups because it's not my style.
Nah.
But Americans are correct right now. And the term that don't like Bohemian Rhapsody, I think Rami Malek is really good in the film. I don't think he should win. I think Bradley should win. I think he's a that's A Star Is Born is a better biopic than Bohemian Rhapsody, and that one is not even a biopic.
I was about to say it's not even a biopic.
It's like Walk Hard with John C. Reilly. That's an amazing biopic. Everybody should watch it.
Is that the title?
Walk Hard, the Brian
With John
Cox-
C. Reilly,
John
the
C.
Dewey
Yeah.
Cox.
the Dewey Cox story.
Yeah.
Great movie. Watch
I was
it.
about to say I'd watch the Walk Hard.
I'm still convinced Dewey Cox is as a real person somewhere. He just
Somewhere.
hasn't come out of hiding yet.
We're just gonna.
Can
have to
you
wait and see.
imagine a duet between Jackson Maine and Dewey Cox? That would be the great. And maybe put some Stacey Jacks from Rock of Ages. If Tom Cruise, he can stand up with
Just
John C.
put
Reilly
it
and Bradley
together.
Cooper. Yeah.
Put in a
that would-
blender, see what comes out.
Yeah, that would be the best trio of all time.
But I think Rami is the favorite to win for sure now. I almost want. I don't want to say he's a lock, but I would love it if he was
Yeah.
a lock.
I mean, it's definitely either Rami or Bale. I do agree with your reasons why I don't think Bale will win, Caleb. I do think it's still, for Jim's purposes, it's going to be either Rami or Bale, because they're both the ones that have been winning all over the place. So it's going to be a Keaton Redmayne situation in which that they're both fighting it out in different places.
And
so
Just
because
I pray to God
who won
the
the
wrong
BAFTA
one
that year?
doesn't.
Was that Redmayne that won the BAFTA?
Yeah, Redmayne won the entire run.
Yeah, Redmayne won the Oscar. So if we're doing a Redmayne Keaton situation, I really hope the right one wins this time.
But what Keaton had at the time is like nobody knew where Michael Keaton was at the time until Birdman came out, and now he's like way more present. But like everybody knows who Christian Bale is right now. People respect it. He's probably the best actor working today.
Probably.
He is.
He brings it every single time.
I still think Michael Keaton should have been nominated for the Founder.
I
Yes, right.
agree with it.
Yeah, he was good.
I won't disagree, but I won't co-sign that. I'll be like, okay, cool. All right, and finally, I have two more. Alfonso Cuarón, a winner for Best Director, Roma. Now this is a lock, probably.
Lock it
Yeah.
in. It's done. The moment Bradley Cooper wasn't even nominated for Best Director, it was
Yeah.
Alfonso's.
I don't think Roma has lost any Best Director at all.
No.
Like,
He does everything in the film. I told you this in October. He edits his cinematographers. He even carries the camera. he directs. He writes the script. He does everything. Like it's like when you do a film by yourself and you do everything. Cuarón does that.
feel that. Well,
You know what
that's
I
the
heard?
case.
What I heard is this guy Tom O'Neill, the top editor in Gold Derby, that Rome is the most expensive campaign of all time.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. He didn't give a number, but this guy is like 60 something, and he said no studio has ever spent that much money on a film than Roma. And just think about it. Warner Bros. Spent 40 million on Argo. And if Roma spent more than that, I don't know, maybe 100.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I mean, Roma is backed by Netflix, which probably do have a lot more to do, and I think.
Do they though?
I
They don't have their
think
numbers.
Roma is just a
I
statement
don't know,
for...
but what it's meaning is Netflix probably said, well, yeah, we can put a lot of money behind Roma to get it out there into their minds because
They're just taking all that out.
because they really want to be able to go like Netflix, the home of Academy Award winner Roma. So
Roma
They
is
just
a
put all that House of
statement.
Cards money behind it. All those.
Yeah,
season
Roma is a statement for... Yeah, I think it's like the House of Cards of TV. Of film. It's like, this is my statement of what I can do with my money and my quality. I think this is the best Netflix original movie, if you can call it original movie. Maybe Beast of the Southern Wild, because I think most of Netflix movies are terrible.
I mean, I might fight you on Mudbound, but that wasn't originally Netflix. Movie.
That was a Sundance film it was.
They
Sundance,
bought.
right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, they bought it. We like it. Let's bring
I'm
it
gonna
up.
sit over here silently championing a Battle of Buster Scruggs, just quietly in my corner.
Oh yeah, that movie. Whoops.
That movie is fine. It's fine.
I just
Team
forgot
Blake
about it.
Nelson, Yeah, Team Blake Nelson is really good.
Oh,
in
he's
the first
great.
20 minutes.
He's great.
Yeah, 'cause I
Implying
think-
he's
yeah,
not
'cause I
good in the
think
rest
they
of it.
did call Mudbound a New Zealand Netflix original, even though they're technically not.
No, Mudbound is not like it's not an international film for Netflix. I think.
No,
Oh, yeah, you know,
I don't know actually.
No, it's not like in Mexico. It's not available. It opened in
okay.
theaters. It's the same as The Irishman. I'm gonna be able to watch The Irishman in theaters.
Oh,
Suck
for
it,
you.
Americans.
well, I'd rather
I'm
not.
an
but
American. I have a social security number.
I was about to
told you.
say, yeah,
I'm gonna
like
show it to you.
there you go. Well, all right, guys, let's digitally remove that finger. See if we can find those numbers.
yeah, you know, in New Zealand, they are calling it a Netflix movie. So,
Oh wow, they're
But-
at least
but-
producing it.
but then again, with Titans, which is only in Netflix over here, it's called Netflix original. But, so maybe for anything which is like, I don't know. But,
And like, isn't it romantic that it's happening this week? Like, it opens on Netflix here, but it opens in theaters in the US.
yeah, we're getting a Netflix as well on Netflix
Yeah.
here as well.
It's just deals. Like, some are international and some are like
Yeah,
the studios.
but yes, this is not the Netflix podcast.
This is not the Netflix podcast. Well, this is our
There's not
final.
King of Hearts podcast. This is not a. It's
No,
not a
It's not sports. It's not any of that. This is the Oscars and award shows in general for movies. And our final for best film at the BAFTAs. Our nominees were Black Klansman, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, and A Star Is Born. With your winner, Roma. So we might have this a new front runner, or maybe a stronger front runner, I guess, because color me shocked because I could have sworn this was about to go to The Favorite just because of everything it was getting.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought too. Because, well, like partly because in Best Film, Favorite was the only sort of British film there, but then again, The Favorite did win Best British Film, so it's probably one of those ones which they probably one of the examples that I came up before from maybe Roma and at the Oscars, maybe they split the vote or something. I don't between Best Film
Maybe.
and Best British. I don't know.
My best picture take is Roma wins it in a world where we're awarding the best film of the year Oscar. Like the Oscars are awarding what the best film of the year is. My official prediction that I'm submitting is because of all the ratings debacle, all of we need eyes on this show, the talk of the popular film, and then it's gone, and then it shows up in Best Picture. I would not be shocked if Black Panther walks away with Best Picture without any directing noms. It would be a shock to the system. But if Black Panther wins, everyone is going to be talking about it, and that's exactly what the Oscars want.
It's gonna pull a Grand Hotel in 1930 something. One nomination, one win.
Exactly.
It has 7, but like
it could happen. The thing is, you can't deny the cultural impact Black Panther has had, and it is a genuine kind of feel-good movie that also has a message to it. So it kind of checks a lot of Oscar Best Picture boxes in the sense where it can get away with it. I definitely, it's not my pick for the best movie of the year, but it is my prediction for it's the dark horse thing that could happen if they're going for a ratings boost.
Although on the other hand, if Roma wins, would it be the first foreign film to win Best Picture?
Yes, it will.
So if either way, if Black Panther wins, you've got the first comic book. If Roma wins, you got the best foreign film. I do think they're probably going to go with Roma for that side because it's been nominated so much, and it's been winning all over the place as well. I do think if it's not Roma, it's probably not going to be Black Panther, though. I do think it's probably if it's not going to be Roma, it's going to be either Green Book, Star Is Born, or I hate to say it, Bohemian Rhapsody.
That would be amazing. But I think it's all about what political message they want to go with. Do they want to go with the one more for the stuff happening with the wall? Do they want to go with the Black Lives Matter directions? Which political movement do they really want to go with?
If let's say if Black Panther had won PGA, I would say yes. If SAG and PGA has a strong shot, but because it would be as you said, an utter shock if it did. Or they could pull a La La Land Moonlight and be like, except this time on purpose, and be like, whoops, we met Roma, Black Panther, but oops. Which would be which if they did that, that would I totally lose all credence, and I would be like, this is it, the Academy. I'm canceling this podcast. We are over.
I just want Black Panther to win because I know, like, if any of the other films win, everything was there's gonna be some controversy of some way, but because Black Panther is has massive appeal, the whole world will explode, and that's what we want right here. We want chaos.
I don't want that.
I think the world will explode in a bad way if Bohemian Rhapsody wins. So
let's say I don't think I want the world to explode anyway. So we could just have Green Book win, and then people would be like, "Oh, wow, okay." Nice.
What's the message? Flash your dick to actors? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say.
Wow, throwing that out right there.
Green Book is really good.
Hashtag keep it in your pants, Peter Farrelly. Yeah. So, yeah, those are the BAFTAs. Threw me off of there, Abe, with that. And of course, the BAFTA Fellowship this year went to Thelma Schoonmaker. Martin Scorsese's editor of choice. Look, another editor we would not have seen if they won an Oscar.
Yeah.
So consider that a little more. What's the word? Dirt in your eye, or kicking us while we're down, type of thing.
And also, I don't know if you mentioned it, but Letitia Wright also got the Rising Star. So,
thank you for reminding me. Yes, Letitia Wright, winner of the EE Rising Star Award, voted for by the public. So the public chose her. Not too shocking, considering she's in the 2 biggest films of the year. Can't go wrong with that. And yeah, no, those were the BAFTAs. Roma winning, not a shock, but not too much of a shock to where it came out of nowhere, and just cemented itself as the movie to beat. I'm actually going to go try to watch it again sometime when I get time to see how I feel about it again with a new light. Maybe sit down, relax, watch it again. But yeah, before we head out, guys, I forgot to do this at the very beginning. What are some of the movies you guys watched this week? But because we're low on time, pick one film you guys watched this past week, and then tell me, a little more about it. So, Abe, what did you watch?
I didn't watch anything new, but I rewatched Green Book and Black Klansman. I thought both were fine. I already said that I fell asleep in Green Book for 20 minutes, so I don't know what to say about the film. That's why I don't like rewatching films, because sometimes they change my mind, and I like to keep my thoughts about a movie as happy as possible.
Awesome. There you go. And Malcolm, what did you watch?
I watched I.O. on Netflix. This is an interesting movie. It's got Anthony Mackie was, I think, the only notable person in it. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it that much. It's kind of about middle for me, but and I started watching High Flying Bird done by Steven Soderbergh, but haven't finished it. So yeah,
I need to watch that. And then, Kaleb, what'd you watch?
After 2 years, I finally got around to watching Hell or High Water, and my God, is that a fantastic film. Powerhouse. Great story, great cinematography, great performances all the way around. Ben Foster was completely snubbed for a Best Actor nomination that year.
Wasn't he, though?
Yeah, totally. I would give him the nom over Chris Pine 100%. But yeah, it was a fantastic film.
Okay. All right. So, because we are crunched for time, we're going to have to end it there. Abe has already skedaddled. He has left the coop. And Malcolm, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Tape View Productions, where I host Wankum every Sunday. This coming Sunday, we're doing Top 12 Movie Presidents in honor of President's Day that week. And you can also find me competing in trivia on Full Metal and Multiplex, and Twitter, Letterboxd, and Stardust at Malcor.
And Kaleb, what about you?
You can find me over on the aforementioned Multiplex Entertainment. I host Fandom Fight on Fridays. If you think you can get in our big Intergeekdom League, come play. Love to have you. I also am on the after show over there where we just kind of talk and mess around for about 2 hours. And me and Cody Newberry have the Co-Oscar nominations out. Go ahead, go vote on the Multiplex Entertainment group. If you're not in the Facebook group, join, vote, and we'll be starting that show up in about 2 weeks. So yeah.
Ooh, I'm looking to see that. We have a little competition over here. All right. So, speaking of which, we had our nominations recently just announced. I completely forgot about that at the beginning. I'm in such a rush to get the show done out the door because we have all stuff we have to do. But quickly, those recently just came out. The editing of the process of the video took way longer than I anticipated it being because we had to crunch the numbers. So again, thank you. Huge shout out to Christian Smith for helping me get this done. She's a whiz with numbers because her job requires her to do that, and she does an amazing job. And for all those who voted, I thank you again. I will put the link in the description below. Again, about to vote for the final winners. You had Stars Born, the favorite, lead with 11 nominations each, with the best picture race being actually pretty good. I actually think it's a really, really great lineup. Give or take a couple of things down the road, but you can watch my nomination video to find more about that, as well as look at the final nominations that we have. But again, thank you all those who voted, and thank you guys for watching the 20th episode, I believe, of the show. As we wind down, we have 2.5. No, wait. Do we have less than 2 weeks left, guys? For the Oscars. So. Wow, we have less than 2 weeks left. So we will see you guys in about a week and a half for the Oscars, but next week we will have our final Oscar predictions. So get ready for that as we get ready to find out what's going to be gone with the win, or will be going with the win is more, I guess, appropriate. Thank you all. Have a good night.